Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm going to do a message from Archangel Uriel. Though apparently Archangel Uriel has shown up too. I'm going to focus on Archangel Uriel, but for some of you, Uriel is maybe a guide that's trying to show up for you, and it was just a brief message for you. Archangel Uriel is the archangel who it's kind of in charge of, I hear all living beings, but mostly animals and nature. And so if you're really connected to animals and nature spirits too, work with Archangel Uriel. Just knocking on your door, okay? But today I'm going to give you a message from Archangel Uriel. Okay, thank you. So Archangel Uriel is described as God's light, the light of God, and will help to illuminate the path that is your highest vibration, which is the reflection of the God inside of you, 111 on my recording. And for some of you, that's one of the messages from Uriel, is that you need to start connecting with nature and the way that animals are drawn to you, and the effect that you have on the natural world. For some of you, that is your path. He's illuminating that for you. That if you're wondering if you should pursue something that is connected more with the earth and animals, that it's like validation for you that yes, you should go back to school to be a vet tech, or it doesn't have to just be about animals, but and for those of you too that are interested in earth work and grid work and things like that, it feels like that might be part of your path. So connect with Archangel Uriel. So I have this book, Angel Prayers by Kyle Gray, and it just kind of gives you a brief description of some of the major angels and archangels. And I just wanted to read just a little bit of it. Archangel Uriel can help us in many ways. He brings us inspiration and creative thoughts. He's particularly brilliant at helping us obtain answers to questions, and is great for problem solving too. Anytime we are unsure about a decision, we can welcome in Uriel to help us make the right choice. I've found that Uriel is absolutely amazing for those who are self-employed or thinking of running their own business. So that's why I connected with Uriel so much. And he came up in my last masterclass that I had last weekend. Came up for one of the students, and then I read this to one of the students, and I was like, oh, this is for me. Thank you, Uriel. So for some of you, if that is something that you're considering, working with Uriel keeps coming back. I'm going to have to read something about that. Asking Uriel to help with guidance, to help know what the next step is. Uriel can help unlock your gifts and move to the next level. So if there are those of you where gifts are opening up for you too, and wondering, what do I do with them though? Like, I really would love to help people and share my gifts with other people. How do I do that though? Connecting with Uriel, really asking for help. I read something this morning from Mel Robbins too. I get her email blog posts, and this morning she said she gave a quote from Harry Potter with Albus Dumbledore that said that one of their favorite lines in the movies is when he says, though help will arrive for those who ask for it. So that's part of the message, is you just have to ask. You just have to ask. Some of you are really needing to ask for help. You're not supposed to do it on your own. And that's definitely part of the message, is that if you're thinking of starting a business, or if you're thinking of moving forward in some way, it feels like it's connected to career or work. It's supposed to be a partnership. It's supposed to be a partnership. I don't know that you're supposed to do it yourself. Now, whether that means that, you're the face of of the business and then you have a team of people who support you, or it is this exchange back and forth between you and another person and you're building this thing together in the same capacity. It is a partnership. It's meant to be a partnership. Okay. Now, for some of you, it is also about romantic relationship. So Uriel is here to help illuminate your path when it comes to the reasons why you're having a hard time or have always had a hard time in relationships and partnerships. Moving forward, you can, in all areas of your life, fortify whatever kind of relationships you have. Okay? So let's get a little bit more information from Archangel Uriel. It does feel like the majority of you are here to try to understand more about partnership in whatever area of your life. It feels like an insurmountable obstacle. Like sometimes relationships feel like obstacles. And it's interesting because this is shining the light on this mountain here. It is the moon, throat chakra. And you can see there's two birds right here, which really stand out to me. As teeny tiny as they are, that really stands out to me. So it's like there's some sort, like, it feels like you're always climbing a mountain. You're always climbing a mountain. Like you're never going to get to the crest, I hear. That's a weird word. But it feels to me like that's the problem, is that it always feels like an obstacle. Relationships feel like obstacles to you. Partnerships feel like they are always creating obstacles. It's just easier to do it myself. It's easier to do it myself than to always have to adapt to someone else's energy. So I'm hearing the song by Miley Cyrus. I'm always going to want to climb another mountain. I'm always going to want to make it move. Sometimes you're going to have to lose. It's not about, it's like the words are there. And I know the words. I know the song so well. But what's standing out to me is those that I just said, and it's not about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. It's the climb. So the mountain itself feels like it's an obstacle, or there is always this struggle. It doesn't feel like ease. It doesn't feel downstream. But there's something about your nature that you're like meant for greatness. You're meant to make an impact on people in whatever way, just by being you. Because of this desire to always know more and do more and be more and learn more and to keep pushing. So there's this balance between pushing and pulling. I've got this card that I got from some festival that he just had me pick a card out of it. And there's this horse on the back of it, if that makes a difference to anybody. But it says ready to pull. At times in your life, you have had to push forward and have been known to create the energy to make things happen or push them through. You have a real ability to create and make things happen with this resilience and this, you have desire behind it, but this work ethic that's just like push and work hard and it feels like it comes from a place of being really hard on yourself. And it hasn't been easy. And there's this belief that it's not supposed to be easy, though. It's not supposed to be. But Uriel right now is shining the light on the fact that it is supposed to be easy. This wizard of awareness is coming in to help us shift our perspective about the mountain, about the fact that it feels like a struggle, when really what we want more than anything is for it to feel easy. Even though we're climbing a mountain, we want it to feel easy so that we're inspired by it and we continue to be inspired by it. So the struggle and the energy of struggle is something that's coming up to be released for you. Okay? And it feels like it's in this ready to pull. At this time, however, you're being asked to pull, not push. You'll see your strength and move forward in faith at a steady pace, perhaps assisting others who need to have you take the load while they rest. Instead of making things happen, you're asked to allow them to flow and unfold before you as you move ahead in strength and steadiness. Sometimes that push forward, trying to make things move faster than what you're ready for or faster than what they're meant to go, creates resistance against it and makes it move forward, but in a really tough, harder kind of way. And so you see the movement and you see the momentum and you can see that it's a result of really hard work, but it doesn't need to be that hard. That's the point, I think, that Uriel is trying to illuminate. That it's time to really co-create with the universe and connect with and be aware of the universe inside of you, the divine inside of you, and start to witness the human you and figure out why they think they need to push and work so hard. Some people are like, well, I like to work hard. Yes, but some of the things that you're working really hard at, you're doing in order to try to prove yourself to an invisible force that is almost forceful. It's done sometimes in a way that's almost forceful. And it damages relationships, I'm hearing. It damages relationships, and things could be so much easier. It's like you can see things make so much sense to you and you want to have them now. Not realizing that there are a million other components that need to go into that. And if you would just sit back and just take a breather and maybe just take another couple of seconds before you react or before you decide or whatever it is, you would see that you didn't quite have all of the pieces of the puzzle. You could move forward with the information that you have, but it's going to take you 12 more steps. And those 12 steps, even though you like to work hard, are very frustrating steps. You've just learned how to deal with the frustration. Now it's about taking a step back and allowing more, just that knowing that this thing, whatever you're headed towards, exists. I'm hearing like, you can't climb the mountain in like 10 minutes. You know what I mean? You could run all the way up it. You could. And I'm sure if you challenge yourself, you could do it, and you would struggle, and you would struggle, and you would struggle. Or you can spread that out and create a pace that's healthy for you and everyone around you. At some point, if you're pushing yourself up that mountain, you could get halfway up there. And I just saw like a heart attack. This is a message for some of you that if you don't stop pushing the way that you're pushing, physical issues are going to start. The stress of you pushing is going to start manifesting in physical ways. Okay? So it's time for you to be aware, more awareness of the reasons you're pushing. They're coming from your thoughts. They're coming from you being very, 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 very hard on yourself. Okay? And those thoughts are going to start manifesting in a way where your body starts breaking down. because you're attacking yourself from the inside out. And you're creating these situations in your life that are way harder than they need to be. Okay? So it's time to really, really understand self-awareness and how you can witness yourself, witness your life, and see the patterns that you think are about other people, but they're really about you. Okay? Breathe deeply and feel the differences as you take up the slack and quietly move into the next chapter. Discovery of the power of pulling instead of pushing is at hand here. Okay? Archangel Uriel is shining the light. It feels almost like a little bit of a warning. That stepping into the light, what it is that you're headed towards, you cannot get to that point and maintain your physical well-being, your mental well-being at the pace you're going right now. If you're pushing for that big promotion at work, you're pushing for this project to go through, or you're pushing for this big promotion and you've got a million other balls up in the air and you're promising all of these things, that you can accomplish all of these things for this promotion. And you're working so hard to get them to happen, just to prove yourself, to prove that you're worthy of this position. And you take on all of these responsibilities. When you get the job, this is a specific example. When you get the job, if you do, you are going to burn out like that because it's too much. Because right now you're operating under pressure and the need to prove yourself. Your energy, your light is enough to earn that position in the first place. Just by sitting back and allowing the inspired action, the inspired information, observing what you need to, and contributing that information to them. You have all these other people. This is a specific scenario that I'm seeing. You have all these other people vying for the same position. And they're all doing these things, and they're all doing these things, and they're all doing these things. And you feel that you need to compete in order to. But what you do is you sit back and you watch all of those things, and you watch all of those things. And it may look like other people are doing more. But you sit back and you watch, and you watch, and you witness the flaws in some of those things, and then you come around and you put your project together knowing what doesn't work after witnessing the things that you can feel strongly. That's a really good idea there, but that's not going to work because of this. I'm going to put this together over here. And it's much easier than the way that they're doing it. And just that, even just that insight is enough for the boss to look at it and be like, nailed it. Fucking nailed it. All of that was overwhelming me anyway. That was too much shit that they were bringing to me. Right? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense for you guys. I know that was very specific, but that can apply in relationships too. That can apply in relationships. It's almost like you're vying for the same position too. I see people like online dating and they're all competing to prove themselves and to, show who they are. And it's this swipe culture that's like, I have to put my best foot forward and I have to present myself in a certain way and say this thing or put this picture up because I'm vying for attention and for someone to accept me and say, oh yeah, that's who I want, or that's the one that will fill this role that I have expectations for. Just sit back. The right one is going to find you after you observe some of these things. So take some time, observe behaviors, talk to some people, and get an idea of like, not what the competition is doing, but make it a collaborative effort, a collaborative thing. I went on a date not long ago and there wasn't much chemistry there, but I wanted to go out. I wanted to meet with him. He was really interesting. And I was like, I know that there's something in this for me. I don't know that this is happily ever after, but I'm supposed to go on this date. That's what dating is. And it was the most fun conversation. And he was talking about, I don't know, maybe you just didn't have the most game or something like that. And we were talking about how it's so hard to meet people these days. Like, where do you really meet people these days? And I was like, somebody told me the old way of, you know, that cliche in the grocery store talking about produce or something. That's how you meet somebody. And he was like, all right, wait, so then what do I say? I like go up to them and be like, hi, I'm Mark. And I was like, no. If you walk up to me like that, I'm going to throw one of the cantaloupe at you or something. But it was a funny conversation. And I was like helping him to get the perspective of someone who is receiving energy coming at them like that. And what would work for me if someone did come up to me like that. And part of me felt like maybe I'm supposed to help him find his person. I can feel that I'm not his person. But what am I supposed to activate something inside of him that helps him see the other side in order to find his person? And making it a collaborative effort, not a competitive thing or you know, you didn't check this box and so, you know, your purpose in my life is null. Like, if you're not the one forever and ever, then I don't ever need to talk to you. Like, there's a purpose in meeting everybody that you meet. And making it a collaborative kind of thing. So that's the partnership again. This mountain, climbing this mountain. You don't need to push so much. The reason that you're pushing, the reason that things feel so hard is because you're trying so hard to do it on your own. Trying so hard to do it on your own. There are some times where you're going to be, my brother hikes and climbs mountains and stuff too, so this is like a specific reference. There are some times where you take the lead and you set the pace for the climb. And there are other times where it's time for the other person to set the pace, and it may be slower, and it may be that you needed a rest anyway, and you wouldn't normally have gone slower, but it's actually helping you to notice other things and to take your time and to really savor the experience. So partnering with someone else is really, if you step back and you allow the pull instead of the push, you're going to see how other people can take the reins also, and how it gives you a different perspective that you never had before. Okay? So, on an individual level, it feels like a little bit of a warning that if you're putting so much pressure on something in dating, in the dating world, I'm seeing like if you don't face whatever kind of thing in you that makes you push and push and push to find the right one or believing in the one, it's like there's heartache in there. If you don't face your heartache, part of the reason and the way that you're pursuing people is as a result of heartache, or you're trying to prove that you are worthy because something in your heart tells you that you're not worthy. That needs to be healed first, because it does feel very close to becoming a physical manifestation. Okay, so that's on an individual level. And then on a partnership level, it really is time to allow a push and a pull, push, pull, push, pull. Sometimes they push and you pull, sometimes you push and they pull, and it's this allowing, the gift of allowing. Okay? All right, I'm just listening to this Wizard of Awareness. Third chakra. I feel like they're shutting me up now. I think that's enough for now. I'm going to go on and I'm going to do an extended reading. And I'm going to get a little bit more specific. I'm going to get individual messages for all the elemental signs. So that's Archangel Uriel coming back in. It is going to be from Uriel, though. And he's going to illuminate something on your path. Air signs, earth signs, fire signs, water signs. And I'm just going to do one extended. So, you can watch the extended for all of the elements, or you can skip ahead to whichever one you want to focus on. Or if you lack something in your chart, that's typically what the message is that I get about watching the elemental readings is if you're lacking something in your chart, watch that reading, because it's like the thing that you're not aware of is, and the reason that you're not aware of it is because you're lacking the energy of that within you. So, if you're lacking fire in your chart, maybe watch the fire reading. Okay, so I'm going to get a little bit more specific. It may have something to do with all of this. This usually is kind of the theme, but it may even get more specific to, you know, love relationships, work relationships, whatever it is. So if you're interested in that, click on the link below for the extended. And if not, I love you guys. If you want to book a private reading with me, all that information is down in the box below. The one that I typically like, I really only am doing like recorded readings where I send them over to you, or a one-on-one live session. It's the most organic way to get deep. Those end up being very deep and very profound. Is that it? I think that's it. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon.